Good morning, students. Class 7. Before starting the chapter, I want you people to please write down the syllabus of the unit test. The first unit test, chapter number 1 and chapter number 2 from history. Chapter number 1 and chapter number 2 from history. The chapter name, it is the Medieval Europe, Rise and Spread of Christianity. The first chapter of history, Medieval Europe, Rise and Spread of Christianity. And the second chapter, Rise and Spread of Islam. Rise and Spread of Islam. And from civics, you will have one chapter, that is the Constitution of India. That is the Constitution of India. So these are the three chapters for your unit test syllabus. So before starting with the history, first of all, we will finish the civics chapter, that is the Constitution of India. So all of you know that we need rules and regulations to lead an organized social life. There are certain codes, there are certain rules, there are certain procedures according to which we are performing our activities. Therefore, we can say that rules, they are very much essential, or some kind of planning is very much important in order to lead a planned life. Now, in order to govern the country, we require certain rules, certain regulations, certain laws, and certain procedures. All the states have their constitutions, governments, administrations, etc. And as administration can be properly run only when we are having certain rules and procedures. According to those rules and procedures, we can proceed further. India is a democratic country, and different people belonging to different religion, they live in India. Therefore, it is very necessary that we should include the interest of all the people. So, you can say that our constitution, it is the supreme law of land. And even the parliament cannot override the constitution. So, whatever the constitution we have made, the Constitution of India, okay, it's a document which contains details of how to govern our country. Once again, Constitution, it is a document which contains details of how to govern our country. It is a framework within which a government has to function. It defines the powers, functions of the different organs, and even they explain us about the fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and they also explains the nation goals like democracy, socialism, secularism, liberty, equality, fraternity, etc. So all the information, it is included in the constitution. On 26 January 1950, we began to govern ourselves according to the rules which we have framed, and the constitution was enforced on this day. So which day? On 26 January 1950, our constitution was enforced. So this day, it is celebrated with great joy, and it is one of our national festival. Clear, children? Now, how constitution was made? So, Constituent Assembly. Our constitution was framed by the Constituent Assembly. Please underline. The Constituent Assembly had a wide representations, like a majority of members, they belongs to Indian National Congress, and some from other political parties. The prominent few leaders like Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Maulana Azad, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, others. From the weaker section, from the minorities, also some of the people, they were represented. There were 30 scheduled caste members. Then from Anglo-Indians, we had Frank Anthony, and from Parsis we had Dr. H.P. Modi. Please underline these two names. In the back exercises somewhere they are asking you these two names. So Frank Anthony from Anglo-Indian, Dr. H.P. Modi from Parsis, and even women members like Sarojini Naidu, Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, they were also the part of this Constituent Assembly. Now, drafting committee. After the formation of the Constituent Assembly appointed a drafting committee, and the drafting committee was appointed under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to prepare a draft of the constitution. Please underline Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He was the chairman of the drafting committee. There were many other important members of this community, and all together they draft the constitution, and then finally it came into force with effect from January 26, 1950. Clear, children? So, what do you mean by the constitution? On which day the constitution came into force? Then we studied about the Constituent Assembly. Then we studied about the drafting committee. Clear? Now after that we are going to study about the preamble. Now what is a preamble? Preamble, it is an introduction to the constitution. Basically, the preamble summarizes the aims and objectives of the constitution. Once again, preamble is an introduction to the constitution, and preamble summarizes the goals and aims, objectives of the constitution. The preamble expresses a great deal of meaning in few words, you can say. Like the first part of the preamble, it includes sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic. See, without any comma. In a single line, they are explaining the meaning of what it is contained in the constitution. So these are the objectives of the preamble. Now next, in the second part, it includes justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. Clear? These are the ideals according to which we are going to move. And remember, just have a look on the picture preamble. The first line, we the people of India. We the people of India, very very important line. We the people of India means that we are given a special importance. We are its source and strength. That is, people, they are its source and strength. It is on behalf of the people that their representatives, they have framed the constitution. Constitution, it is in the written form. It is one of the longest constitution, a blend of rigidity, flexibility, federal form of government, single citizenship, amendments. These are some of the features of our Indian constitution. Now the term sovereign. The sovereign, it means that India is free from external controls and we are independent. No outside power can interfere in our internal affairs. This is sovereign. We are free. We are independent. Socialist means an equal and fair distribution of the nation wealth among all the sections of the society. That is, by giving them equal opportunities, by providing them with the equal opportunity and to fill the gap between the rich and the poor. Next, it is a secular. Secular means that India does not have a state or official religion. All the religions, they are treated equally. All the religion, all the people, they have full freedom to profess, practice and propagate any religion of their choice. Democratic, government of the people, by the people and for the people. The meaning of democracy, the government of the people, by the people and for the people. After every 5 years, general elections they will be held, and they will be appointing the representative.